What's going on, baby? I had to double check, make sure my mic was on because the last few times, man, I've been struggling lately, folks.
Man, your mic is glowing. It's glowing hot, man.
It's hot, baby. We're coming in hot. Good morning, buenos dias. Welcome everybody to the House of Nerd Show. We're live today, full squad in the house. We're talking Blue Beetle movie reaction and review, all that good stuff today. Plus, we might get into some comics. We are a comic book show after all, man. Wanna give a shout out. We got some dope guests in the house. Oh, who that? That Cookie?
Man, she was first out the gate too, man. It's like she was waiting.
I love it. And a reminder to have not coffee this morning. I didn't have no time for coffee.
Got to get the coffee.
I had to.
You know,
I wanted to.
I don't do coffee, so I may, but I would do like some. Actually, I got some ginseng. I got the ginseng with the root. I bought that from the health store yesterday, so I may try that.
Okay.
I did that sea moss this morning though, because like I gotta try to get rid of that inflammation, slip on the couch and all that stuff.
Ginseng in the morning? Okay.
Man, I don't know if I can. Hey, man, down here it's like $5 a bottle. I don't know if I can do that every day.
Okay. $5 bottle for some ginseng, man. Hey, shout out to Man Cave Theater. Always great to see you in the chats, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate Cookie too, man. Always there with us, man. We got some dope guests joining us to talk Blue Beetle. We got Mr. Jacoby Salcedo coming all the way from the West Coast. What's going on, my man?
What's up?
Hey, Jacoby, you know a little something about Blue Beetle. I mean, you've got a Blue Beetle story, man.
Yeah, we got a Blue Beetle story in the DC Legion of Bloom, so I'm familiar with him at least.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I dig it. And you know what? If I was prepared, I would have had. I've got the Legion of Bloom somewhere.
But we got Frontera as well. Gonna shout that out. Debut graphic novel. So.
Yep. I mean, my man, let us know. Let the fine folks at home know what.
Okay. Well, we got Frontera. It's drawn by me, written by Julio Anta, and it's about this boy named Mateo. He's traveling through the Sonoran Desert, which I think. Kind of to tie it to the Blue Beetle movie, I think Jaime's family or his dad came through the Sonoran. But he meets this ghost named Guillermo out there, and who helps him on his journey. So it's out now in bookstores everywhere and online.
Super folk. I mean, we had the pleasure of chopping it up with you guys about Frontera when it dropped about a month or so ago. So check it out on the channel, folks. The interview is there, the discussion is there, an absolute gem of a read. Anything Julio and Jacoby they do together, man, is gonna be super dope. So yeah, man, check that out. And we're also joined by the big homie, the big YouTube star.
Yeah.
Mark, what's going on, baby?
Doing good. Fresh off of the Blue Beetle Thursday opening premiere. I would have wished there were some more people in the cinema, but it allowed for a little bit of banter to talk to. I went with someone. I didn't go alone for this movie, so we chatted it up a little bit.
Wait a minute. Who did you go with, Chill?
It was that guy right over there.
That guy over there.
Yeah.
So I can confirm, folks,
that I'm cold.
There's been some questions whether Chill is actually an AI YouTube personality or not. But I can confirm I met him in the flesh. He's real.
Hey, and to Elle, I met him in the flesh, and I did not get any pink eye. I'm perfectly fine. These are all myths that needed to be busted.
There you go. I appreciate you throwing me. Man, get out of here, bro. What is this guy going on? Who's in the house? See for yourself what's going on, my man. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. Listen, we're going to get into Blue Beetle. Of course, there will be some spoilers. Heads up for those who may not have watched it yet. But we're not going to give away the whole movie for you. We're not going to give away every beat. We're just, I think in part, man, we're just here to celebrate Jaime Reyes, man. Celebrate, the this first, leading Latino superhero on the big screen, man. It's a big deal. It's important, man. So we're here almost like in a celebration.
Wait, well, Sergio, before we go, I want to look at the comments. I want to announce two comments, really.
Of course,
First
bro.
of all, organic turmeric root and organic ginger root are good to have on hand. Remember, I was talking about that earlier. So the figure draw, I'm gonna let you know, I actually bought some sea moss yesterday that has both ginger and turmeric in it, and I took that this morning as well. So I had to pick between, like, I'm gonna take this ginger root or I'm gonna take this sea moss. So I went with the sea moss and some coconut water. That's what I went with.
Oh, yo, it's coconut water too. So you're just on like a health tip right now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I'm focusing on me, Jill. I'm almost, self care for me.
Yes.
And then I see for itself. They got a question. Where can I get Frontera? So let's acknowledge that.
I mean, not to support Jeff Bezos, but Amazon.
Man, you in Oregon? You like right the state over from him?
Yeah, I mean, technically, I'm like originally from that same state, but I mean, Amazon, but any bookstore can order it for you. Comic book store can order it for you. It is still available to buy. I think even searching Frontera graphic novel on Google, you'll find.
Yeah. I mean, bookstores, comic shops, man, probably the best way to go. Speaking of comic shops, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Gotham Central Comics. See for yourself, if you need to get a copy of the dopeness that is Frontera, hit up GothamCentralComics.com, man. Best shop in the GTA. My man Carlos will take care of you. All great people over there. And folks who are local to the Toronto area, they will be at Fan Expo. All right, so be sure to check out the booth. Be sure to hit them up, man. Good people.
The Great Fan Expo. When is Fan Expo again?
It's this upcoming weekend, man.
Oh, it's this upcoming weekend. Okay. Because Dragon Con in Atlanta is next weekend. All right, so yeah, the weekend of Labor Day here in the States.
Oh, okay.
So I may shoot over to Atlanta for a day to Dragon Con, but they have them $75 dollar tickets, a day tickets now.
It's crazy how much it's about something the same here too, man. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be able to hit up Fan Expo this year. I'll be working. I'm working out next week. But if you are able to go, be sure to hit up Gotham Central Comics. Dope peeps over there. Actually, I can tease. What's Spoiler King saying over here? Can't stay, guys, but love Blue Beetle. Love House of Nerd Show. Have a great, fun show, everyone. Appreciate you, Spoiler Kings, in the house, man.
Spoiler Kings. I had to see what they say about it. They want, they want the people always look to see what they say.
Oh yeah, they got a great channel, folks. Go and check them out, man. Go and check them out. The fine folks over at Gotham Central Comics, they've provided this for the 700 giveaway video. When I finally drop it, man, I've been like, apologies for the tardiness on that, folks, but I promise this week is gonna drop. Battle Chasers exclusive, store exclusive, signed by Mike Del Mondo, a dope artist, man.
Okay.
Comes with your certificate, authenticity, all that good stuff, man. So keep your eyes peeled for that giveaway, man, shortly. Hey, but we're here talking Blue Beetle, man. We're here talking Blue. Listen, first of all, man, thank God it finally came. It was a little scary there for a bit, man. With the strikes and everything,
but it was in the can though, Sergio. So I mean, they gonna make their money or try to make their money no matter what.
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be never a Batgirl situation?
I'm sorry.
You thought it was gonna be never a Batgirl situation?
A background?
Batgirl.
Oh yeah, something like that, man. Like with the, what was going on with DCU and the change of I guess leadership over there, man. And you see what happened to films like Batgirl and stuff. So it's here. is fucking dope. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really enjoyed this film. I've been saying for like weeks now, man. You know, like my expectations, in part or probably in large part, because of the content DC has been putting out, has not been the best recently. So my expectations were a little tempered, and I said, you know what?
Here we go with this again. All right.
If I'm anything like, if I'm pleasantly surprised anything more, then cool. I'm here for it, man. So yeah, I mean, I told Chill, I said, yeah, this was a good movie. I mean, we'll get into like ratings and stuff later, but I want to hear from the panel, man. Maybe starting with Jacoby, man. What did you think, man? What were your thoughts on the great 𝐬𝐸𝐬𝐬, the great Blue Beetle?
Honestly, I really liked it. Like, yeah, I think I felt that a little bit. Like, I did not have high expectations. You know, I was very much just going in like, we got to show support for Blue Beetle. You know, I can't just let it flop. And then I left it. I was like, holy shit, that was actually really good. Like, I really liked it. What I was talking to Julio. He saw it yesterday, and he was like, he was, what did he say? He did not like how much he loved George Lopez in it.
Oh, really? Eh?
I mean, I won't lie. I also was like a little bit like George Lopez role, like, you know, and he very much played a George Lopez character, which
yeah.
In this case, it really worked. It reminded me of that Nick at Night character from his show. But I really loved it. It was super charming. And it's been kind of interesting just now, like seeing like people's review of it online, and just seeing, you know, how like on Twitter, we're going to still call it Twitter. We're not going to call it X.
Yeah, I agree with you. Call it Twitter.
You know how they have like the For You and the following, you know, tabs, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go on the For You, it's like love Blue Beetle, and then for some reason on the on the following, it's like I love Blue Beetle. On the For You tab, it's like fuck Blue Beetle. Like, we hope this shit like fails. I'm like, what the hell is this like difference in?
Oh,
it's super weird to me. So I'm like trying to show my love for Blue Beetle as much as I can, so this movie doesn't flop.
We have to.
But I think I did also have a little bit of worry with that leadership switch up, because I was like, oh crap, is this like the last non James Gunn like DC movie? And I do really like that he's going to be part of it. He's not like the first movie in this lineup, but like he's still part of it, because I did leave the movie also just being like, I just want more Blue Beetle. Like,
yeah,
I loved it. So
I like that. I think that was my biggest takeaway. In all honesty, I said we need a sequel. We need more Blue Beetle. We need him to be, you know, like featured in this new DCU. You know, not just like
definitely,
you know, an afterthought. Like, he's there.
Yeah.
You know, no, like he needs to be like a central figure. I think, man.
It's nice to have this head start when we're talking about superheroes that are, you know, from a likeness that is not the people of colorless variety, or the Caucasians, the European descendants. So we already know what we're getting with James Gunn. He told us it'll be a Superman movie, a Supergirl movie is happening, a Batman movie. You know, we look at the skin tone and we go, oh. So the fact that there's already a Blue Beetle in the library, that they're like, oh no, you know what, this one's canon. They didn't say it's canon. They said the character will carry over. But after I've seen the movie, there's really nothing in here that should mess with any sort of back history. So we can really just apply it to our DCU canon. And it's good to have that head start that, look, there's already Blue Beetle there. 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐬𝐸 is represented. And when he's standing next to these other superheroes, he won't be that's the diversity guy that they got it. No, he actually had a whole ass movie with him and backstory standing right with him.
I mean, I agree with you, Chill. I mean, I don't know how people tell me this is a diversity guy. Blue Beetle, I mean, from a comic perspective, 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐸 has been Blue Beetle since 2006. I mean, so that's almost 20 years. Jaime Raymond's been Blue Beetle for almost 20 years at this point. Like, what are you talking about? You know that I hate when people say
Oh,
that.
I meant that in a different sense than what you're saying, but I get what
Yeah.
you mean. Look,
Yeah.
Ted. The thing though, Ted Kord's existence and the fact that he's still there. I think there's a comic called Blue and Gold that just came out, and it's featuring
Yeah.
Ted Kord. It's like I want for DC to put Ted Kord to bed, and that the new Blue Beetle. Let's not have any sort of other people. Let's just have Jaime Reyes. If we're that serious about Jaime, because I don't want him to have a competitive character within his own franchise going, that Blue Beetle. I don't need that. I need Jaime Reyes
Yeah.
focus to be 100%.
Now that I don't think is gonna happen because
No.
Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, especially for people who like grew up reading comics in the 80s, that was a very popular pairing. I mean, that that made the Justice League. You go back and read those old comics, and when Dan Didio became, I guess, what, editor-in-chief of DC, it was like he was intent on like killing that whole fun Justice League. He was like, I don't like funny Justice League. I don't like Dick Grayson's Nightwing. I'm gonna kill everything I can about that. He basically almost succeeded. They had to basically beg him not to kill Dick Grayson.
I mean, I will say, listen, I'm happy that Jaime is getting like his shine on the DC Comics side of things, right? They've had Jacoby. What was the artist or excuse me, the writers on the most recent Blue Beetle miniseries?
Josh Trujillo.
Josh Trujillo and Adrian
Salcedo.
Gutierrez. Yeah, they had a great mini. Oh, there you go. Your man's got it. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, that's been announced that it's turning into like an ongoing series, right?
Yeah, it's ongoing now.
Yeah.
That would be smart to do. You got a
It's like
movie out, you put it
ongoing
coming out to
now,
support it.
getting shine. I know DC. They probably got some other plans for Blue Beetle, right? For Jaime. But to your point, chilling. To your point, Marquelon. I love Blue and Gold. I love Ted Kord and Booster Gold. So I don't want to see him go away. I think there's room for both, man. If you've got like 20 Batmans, and like a bunch of Flashes, I mean, you can have two Blue Beetles. I don't think that's a problem.
Well, technically, three Blue Beetles. You want to count Dan Garrett, the original Blue Beetle.
You're getting super nerd on us now, Marquelon.
Nah, man. I mean, realize I used to hang with older people, who had comics. They were like, no, you're reading this, and because I'm like, oh, I'm reading this. Well, no, that's not the original Blue Beetle. The original Blue Beetle is this person from Hester, with Charleston Comics and all that stuff, and DC bought it, and Crisis and all that stuff happened. I'm like, what?
See, this is why I love having Marquelon on the show, because he's giving us a deep dive on the history, man. He knows his stuff, man. He doesn't play around. Hey, so listen. So See For Yourself is saying Blue Beetle is definitely the best DCU movie of the past few years. Off the top of my head, what has come out? Like
Flash, Shazam, Fear of the Gods,
Black
Adam.
Adam.
Which I enjoy Black Adam, and I still stand by that. I actually enjoy Fear of the Gods. I enjoy Flash, but I would say this much: this has probably been the most fun because my homie said, you know what? They always make, DC people always talking about DC movies are dark. This is not a dark movie. It's a fun movie. I mean, this movie is a lot of fun. It reminds me. You ever watch like old '80s movies like something like Inner Space or something it's like. When movies were just fun, like, oh yeah, something weird gonna happen, and I don't know what's happening, and we're gonna have an adventure, but I'm gonna get the girl, and it's gonna work out at the end, maybe, and this will be another adventure possibly. That's how I felt about Blue Beetle.
Okay, well, from those recent films that you listed off, I can honestly say, like, no whatever, like, it's not even close. Blue Beetle is the best film, I guess, in recent years when you put it up against those other ones, man. In terms of just the enjoyment, the entertainment, and like the quality of the film itself too.
I was surprised about the quality because while I enjoyed Flash, I do see what people were saying about the special effects, especially using the Chrono Dome, whatever they want to call it. I was like, this movie looks really good. Like, they really took the time to make all the special effects, and I felt like they almost had some kind of practical effects too, with explosions and stuff like that. I said, oh, this doesn't look CGI. It looks like it's stuff that's actually blowing up.
And you're talking about in the Blue Beetle?
Yeah, in Blue Beetle, I feel like they got some kind of practical stuff going on here too. I feel like
I think a decent amount of that, yeah, was practical, especially the costume part. I know that they did a lot of the costume as practical, which I think was extremely helpful. Plus, I think it kind of eased people who were really paying attention, like instead of it just revealing the costume in the first trailer, because I know that set pics like leaked with him in the costume, and I think a lot of people kind of either got familiar with it or just kind of dealt with it. Which, when it first leaked, I really liked like seeing that costume. I was like, oh crap, they're doing like a whole suit, and it looks just like the comic. I thought there's a good transfer from the comics for his costume.
But Jacob, I think you had a good point because I really enjoyed that trailer. I mean, we keeping it not spoiler, but if you've seen the trailer, that scene is in the movie. And when I first saw that trailer, I laughed out loud and saw that when he gets the Beetle and stuff in the trailer and it's like taking up the ceiling and stuff like that. But also, as a black, because as a black person, I was like, man, the way they acted is the way my folks would be acting like, oh, he possessed. That's exactly what my grandma would say. Oh, he possessed. He got the devil in him. We need to pray. That's exactly what my grandma would say too.
Yeah, no. the Catholicism, Catholicism of Mexicans definitely came through there, where you're like, oh shit, yeah, no, there's no explanation. That's the devil.
I mean, and like I said, my family ain't care, but they religious. They, Baptist, Pentecostal, all that stuff. They were the same thing. We need to lay hands on him. I don't know what he don't pick up. You got some unclean spirits. That my folks would have done all that stuff.
So I wanted to I see your comment there, Figure Drop. We're gonna touch on this a little later. The numbers, box office. Yeah, I mean, this is the first I've heard of that, which is
pull it up.
It's a little disappointing, but not surprising. I mean, I guess we can talk about it. I mean, shit, Joe. I mean, we were checking for tickets locally, and a lot of the theaters, man, they were like majority empty, and it was really surprising for a comic book movie opening weekend.
But did it beat Barbie though?
But I mean, it beat Barbie. Barbie's on weekend 4.
I mean, and Barbie is the highest grossing Warner Bros. Films of all time, which doesn't make sense to me. But when I think about it, well, millions of people grew up playing with Barbie, so it does make sense to me. I'm like, oh, it does make sense. Okay.
Look at it this way. Share my screen. The Flash movie came out, and that was considered a bomb. It made on its first day 24 million. That's what Blue Beetle made, 25 million. And one day, like you see, it's a long game. You see, what the Flash did was it flopped hard and it got to 268. 268 for the Blue Beetle isn't so bad, because 268 for the Blue Beetle, considering the budget and the marketing that they're not getting for Blue Beetle, you could actually look at that like, okay, we made our money back, that's fine. But
and I think that's similar to what happened with Shazam too. Shazam, but they didn't really market it. They didn't really have the same budget. But they like it made, when it long term it worked. Okay, yeah, you made enough money to get a sequel, so yeah, we'll do it.
Movies like this on what we're trying to hit, which is anyone, not just Mexican, but anyone from Latin America who just doesn't see this, wants to see it. They'll tell their friends. They'll bring family members in it, and yeah, opening weekend wasn't saying much, but that movie's going to stay in the theaters for like a month, 2 months, and it might be collecting money then. Top Gun Maverick was like that. Just when some movie has word of mouth, that's what happens. I should have used Black Panther as an example. The Black Panther movie had a word of mouth. So if you're from the community of people who want to see that because there's a lack of that, and everyone's saying that it's good, and you're checking your phone and there's memes and there's Blue Beetle chit chat, then you're going to be like, okay, well, since I'm going to the cinema this weekend, it won't be Barbie and it won't be Mission Impossible and it won't be whatever the new thing is, Ninja Turtles. It's Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I think it's important for sure, man. We and that in part, why we're talking about it here today, so because folks know, so folks can know, Blue Beetle is genuinely a good movie. It's a well-made film. You guys know me. I'm like I'm a harsh critic, man. You know, I don't like mince words. If something's mid,
Whatever.
I'll tell you. You know?
You think everything's mid though?
That's what I'm saying, man. You know,
Everything
like,
is not mid. The difference between mid and bad. Okay,
right.
we all think everything bad. Like I've seen bad stuff. This ain't
Yeah.
bad.
But Blue Beetle is genuinely is the opposite, man. It's good. It's well made. You know, we were talking about the costume, the practical effects, folks. This is what I love. One of the things that I love, many things, you know, is this movie did not over rely on CGI, on special effects. Were they there? Yeah, for sure, you know. But you could see like there were set pieces, you know, there was location pieces, there was practical effects. The suit looked great on the big screen, man. I think I commented to you, Chill, once or twice when we were watching. I said, "Holy shit! Like this is a good looking film." You
And they
know?
did some tricks too with the way that the suit would come off. So I'd remember that there'd be a guy on the bus and we'd see him and he's looking up because on the glare of the bus you can see the Blue Beetle flying up and zipping, and you're like, that's clever because you probably don't need to work as hard to form a Blue Beetle going up inside. If we're just looking at the reflection, there were a couple other moments in reflection. Remember, you guys remember when he's like right above the water level and then he's kind of like at a highway overpass, and
Mm-hmm.
so they shot that from so far away, naturally, because you wanted to see him interact with these pillars that are holding up the highway. And so, yeah, you're not going to have a close up, which also means you can be less with the CGI of a guy flying, right? You can be less detailed with that. So I was like noticing that they took shortcuts for the budget that worked for the movie. It was clever. Sometimes it makes you be more creative when you have a restriction like how much money they're giving you for this film.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, definitely some creative stuff done like directorially, man. Like even like we were commenting the angle of the shots, you know, they had like the point of view camera, shaky camera. So a lot of different like styles, I think, kind of mixed into it. It wasn't just a typical
The specific angle you're telling me about, one character was coming down an elevator, I think, and we could see that another character was looking for that character. And they're like, oh, there you are. So you could see on one face, it's like, gotta get down this elevator, hurry, hurry, hurry. And the other one's got just like kind of running around trying to get, and you're like, oh, this is all happening in one shot. Cool, we're making the most out of the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen. I'm like, look at that. Everyone needs to have like a signature. And if the Blue Beetle franchise should just get a sequel trilogy, if this happens to have like that as a theme, that would be cool.
I wouldn't be. I mean, listen, I'm digging what the director's doing. It was what isn't it? Angel Manuel Soto.
I heard he's Puerto Rican.
Is he Puerto Rican?
I think he is.
What else has he done? I feel like I'm sure he's done stuff, right?
He has. I looked it up. I mean, you know what? I saw his stuff because he was actually supporting the writer's strike. I mean, he's supporting the strike this weekend. I was okay.
Okay.
So you know, even
Yeah.
so
I'm
even
gonna
though he's
check him out because I feel like he's probably brought like some like this is a very stylistic film, you know? Like it feels like it's his own style. Like this is something he's kind of been working on, man. See for yourself saying agreeing with Chell's point earlier, it's an easy way to fit Blue Beetle into James Gunn's DCU.
It plugs right in.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why it couldn't fit into the new slate of films, right?
I mean, the only reason why, because it's just something that James Gunn is not interested in, but he should be interested in this because he likes these offbeat characters, and Blue Beetle definitely falls into that offbeat character thing. You know, especially did you guys ever watch Young Justice? Because I think Young Justice was a lot of people's introduction to Blue Beetle. You know, and I mean, Blue Beetle had one of the best story arcs in Young Justice. You know.
In season 2.
You're right. I mean, if I was James Gunn, I'm like, all right, so people are already familiar with this character. You know, it's basically an ethnic demographic I can appeal to this character. Let's roll with it. That's what I would do. You know,
he was more Latino in Young Justice. He had a lot of hermanos, and there wasn't enough in the movie, not from him. Uncle Rudy was like, "You're the superhero, cabron." Like I could hear it, you know. And even the villain, what was her name? She always had some like borderline word to say about
Wait, in the movie or Young Justice?
In the movie, what was her name? Veronica?
Victoria Core.
Victoria, yeah.
Victoria
played by
Court,
Susan
man.
Sarandon, and I'm glad you brought it up here because I want to talk about Susan Sarandon is like a known liberal in Hollywood, but she played the hell out of Karen in this movie. She was definitely a Karen in this
Oh my
movie.
God, yes.
She was like, whatever your name is, Sanchez. Well, you know, I don't care. Oh, she is like a known liberal, but she's like, yeah, you know, and she's the Academy Award winner. Yeah, you know, I just feel like going out here making my money, and I'm gonna play a Karen to the most Karen.
You know what's funny is I saw a couple criticisms regarding her performance, and I didn't really understand. I said, did we watch the same movie? Because I actually felt like she did pretty damn good. You know, I think what were show my exact words to you. I said, oh, like she's really fitting this villain character. I like seeing her like that. You know what I mean? Susan Sarandon, right? So which is weird. I mean, everybody's gonna have a different opinion, but I thought all the performances were strong in here. Zolo, listen, Zolo, man, you know, like this is an important character, right? Like I think despite what box office numbers are showing, I think a lot of DC fans, a lot of Latino comic book fans, man, they've been wanting to see this, and it's not always an easy thing to kind of meet people's expectations. But I think the one thing I don't think anybody can disagree on, man, is he killed the performance. He feels like Jaime Reyes, man. He feels like Blue Beetle, you know. What are your guys' thoughts, though, man? Did you guys?
I felt like he was a more mature Jaime Reyes. I mean, you know, like I said, having read Blue Beetle comic books, having watched them Young Justice, I'm like, this is the most developed Jaime Reyes I've seen. You know, like, hey, you know, he got like a college degree, and I'm like, okay, that's some progress, you know.
Yeah. I was surprised that they did put him like, because Jaime usually he's like high school, like 15.
Yeah,
16.
well, so like just in the comics, he just now graduated high school.
Right.
I thought it was interesting that they this maybe might go into spoiler territory, not really, but he graduated from college, but graduated in law. I thought that was interesting. Like, if there are like future Blue Beetle stuff, I don't know if I'm curious if they would like follow up more with that. But I think like his maturity level, I felt like it still felt the same compared to the comics. So I think like for whatever, I think he would be like 22 in the movie.
Right. Yeah.
I think that seemed right. Like that definitely felt like a person in their early 20s. I can't really say kid because that's a grown ass man by then. But I thought I think it's pronounced Cholo, like it's almost Cholo, but it's like shh.
Yeah, I thought it was Sholo too, because he's on what's it called, the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai. That's what I know him from most recently, and you know, everybody loved him as Cobra Kai, you know. And I think he was on Parenthood when he was like a little kid. So this is like somebody who's been acting pretty much his whole life too, you know.
But I think he is the perfect Jaime. Like he was so charming. I think like he had just all of it, and my only complaint were just the sideburns.
Sideburns? I didn't catch it. What's going on with the sideburns?
I was like, this like sideburns, like those are like they're getting a little too long for me personally. I was like, maybe just like right here.
Oh shit! Really? Now I'm gonna have to search up images, man. Oh, I do see that. I'm gonna have to pull that.
When people complain about him having sideburns, like he's growing a beard or something like that, because I mean, I've seen him with a beard, like in real life.
Oh no, this isn't even just about. I'm just talking strictly for the movie. I just felt like his sideburns just went on just a little bit too long. I felt like maybe just take
nitpick.
Yeah, that's my nitpick.
Let him get his grown man on. Let him get his grown man on.
That's true. Those are grown man sideburns.
When this movie was in development, when they first started up in 2018, he was a lot younger. I'm sure COVID delayed things and lockdowns and restrictions, and I'm sure he wasn't supposed to be 22. But like, unlike superhero comics and cartoons, people are going to age, so it's an inevitability that he's 22.
So what are you talking about here, Jacoby? You want it like mid-ear? Can you guys see that image there? Is that?
Yeah, it's like around here.
Okay.
It doesn't help with the beard, where it's just like
Okay.
just keeps going. But yeah, maybe mid
But
year.
the truthful thing, I just looked it up. He actually is 22 in real life. His birthday is June 9th, 2001. So he literally just
Dude.
turned 22.
Happy belated.
Which I like. Which I like. A pet peeve of mine is when like an actor's like playing like 18, 19, whatever age, and then they're like they look so much.
Yeah, this is the opposite because when he
I'm
was
like, who is
filming,
this
he was
40-year-old
21.
like a college student? Like, stop, guys, come on, man. You know,
It depends who it is. Like you take someone like Bianca Lawson, she has perpetually played young and almost everything she's in, and she got to be like closer to 50 now.
I think Stacey Dash was in her 20s when they did
Stacey Dash.
Clueless.
Yep,
Yeah.
Stacey Dash is another one who's perpetually played young.
but I mean, you've seen Stacey Dash. I mean, holy jeez, bro, she looks great for her age, regardless. I mean, she's always looked good for her age. So, man, Joe, you're not a Stacey Dash fan?
No, but I was ready for you to say something negative, so I was
Yeah?
surprised you were gonna.
Oh no.
Hey, we gonna talk about her politics now, because Stacey Dash is fine. My pops used to have a crush on Stacey Dash to the point, like, wasn't she in the Kanye video?
Yeah.
When they were in the airport,
Yeah,
we used to sit up and watch that video like all day. Me and my pops used to sit and watch it all day.
on loop when it dropped, man. It's the only reason I'll revisit Clueless, man. Hey, yo, big shout out to the homie Steve over at Team Nerd Herd Podcast, man. Buenos dias, hombre. Thank you so much for joining us today. He's saying, I can't wait to watch it. Hey, listen, homie, I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And as I think, for the most part, I mean, Jacoby, you said you were seeing some, I guess, negative feedback. Thankfully, I haven't seen much of it or any of it yet. Everything's been
Good.
positive,
Good.
You're always gonna have your negative Nancy's and your difference of opinion.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, none of it's like about the movie too. That's the annoying part. It's like they kind of want to see the movie bomb. I'm like, what's
I
the
hate
point in
that.
that? Why are you such a hater? Like, you can be a hater on like things that actually matter, but a fucking movie, like. Also, I don't know if I can cuss on here. I've been cussing.
Well, you did now.
Yeah, I know. I've been like saying stuff, but
Well, you followed Sergio's bad lead,
like-
first of all.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Kobe. It's like, man, people don't have no joy. It's like, man, look, this is a movie. Just can you take your mind off the world for like 2 hours and enjoy this movie? Did you laugh? Did you cry? Did you get excited? That's the point.
yeah.
I mean, let's talk about. I mean, you're talking about laughing, crying. You're gonna get the full range of emotions.
Oh my god, yeah.
I think it was well done. I mean, I didn't tear up, but I did absolutely feel that scene towards the end when 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸 it was after like kind of all the action, everything's kind of settled down.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And then 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, she says, now we can cry. That in reference to, and spoiler alert.
No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
That one?
I get your point.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I will say I teared up, and I want my homie to see me, but I had to kind of take my glasses off, give myself a little rub right there, like, but that's good. The movie makes you feel things, so and that's a good sign.
I like the family being the strength of everything was showing. And they didn't need to say it. They talked about it too much. There was I think the villain told them that your family is making you, it's a hindrance to you, or so he had a line like that. And I feel like sometimes you got to show it and not tell it. Like there was a moment up when Rudy was talking to Xolo to Jaime Reyes, but like he was telling him like, yo, this is what your parents went through, this and that. And I'm like, that's kind of understood, We were kind of midway through the movie, and I'm like, oh, we already know that they made sacrifices to make ends meet here. We didn't need the uncle to say that to Jaime. That was really just for the audience. That was too much. But I'm not someone who's sensitive and angry and like a white supremacist who needs for these themes not to be shown to our youth so that they may, in fact, find the problems with their lifestyle and what they've inherited and their privileges and stuff. I'm not that way, so it didn't bug me that much. But I still see it as like a a not sophisticated enough messaging inside of a movie.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. I mean, and the thing is, like I said, one, I think the hopes that they pinned on him because he was a college graduate, I felt that growing up black in Alabama. Like, it's like, oh, well, you're the one went to college, so you're the one we waiting on to save everybody. I felt that. And then just from Hispanic people I know around here, some of my clients and stuff. I mean, I saw that. I see that family all the time. Like, okay, well, we all in the house living together, and so had to work all these jobs to get you over here. And I'm like, okay, that's real to me because I've seen that. Like, okay. And if you come from a privileged background, like Trill said, you should be able to relate to that because I mean, they were people first, and like, all right, well, we're people first, and here are specific circumstances unique to us. I think this movie does a good job on that.
I mean, I'm gonna agree. I mean, like they're touching on, I want to say almost universal. Well, at least for people who are not first generation, or I should say, for the migrant experience, right? You don't have to be Latino to appreciate that. There's migrants from all over the world, right, who are coming to the States, and they're talking about that struggle. And then, for that first generation, the first one to graduate college, to help the family kind of, move forward, right? For me, one of the biggest things was just the whole familial aspect, man. The familia and the strength, the unity, the love, right? It was great, man. What's the word I'm looking? Like, this movie was just endearing, dude. It was charming, Like, I felt a lot of the stuff. I was just like, man, see, this is what we need on the screen. This is what we need. Like, it was a central theme, but it wasn't like an over reliance. There was so many things that you could take away from this film, I think, to enjoy it.
Yeah, I also not like going back to the family part. I also just felt like each family member has like a part. Like, they had their moment to shine. No one felt like left behind.
That's an excellent point. You're right. As I think about it, you're absolutely right. Every family member had a beat. You're right.
I don't think the mom had anything special.
He's like,
at the end, she did.
In the end,
in the end, she did. Because I also was kind of like, okay, where's the mom fitting in all this? And then towards the end, she stepped up. But like, I really was like, I don't know, like, I think an ensemble type of cast, it would be kind of hard to give everyone a special moment. But I think they really did have their own thing, and I love that. And I think it was just kind of also added to that whole like family part. Like, it really did show like, hey, this is Jaime's family, and like, this is how much they care about him. And
Yep. Yeah, I think that's fair. They each played their part, man. Scene stealer for sure. I think you folks are gonna endear yourself to the abuelita. She was great, man. I want to see. I mean, we can probably get a spinoff. Spinoff ABC on HBO Max with her adventures or her backstory, man.
Yeah,
you can tell abuelita. She's been through it, man.
Yeah. She was funny, but she was useful. And I just, of course, I started looking up everything. Of course, they made her look older, but she was from Drag Me to Hell. I've seen this lady in something before, so I looked on IMDb. She was like the medium in Drag Me to Hell that was conjuring up the demon and stuff like that.
See, you never know with these actors. If you want someone for one movie, fine. But you want someone long term, you're gonna have to age them up and hire like someone in their 60s. But you can't trust 80-year-old castings. Like, there's too many times where people have gone away, and you're like, oh, I got to do the sequel. Albus Dumbledore, remember him? The second movie, I don't know the actor, but he passed.
Right.
So from 3 to 7, it's a brand new actor. And there's other examples. Carrie Fisher for Star Wars, right? That was a little different, but she was older, and they said we're gonna keep her, and unfortunately, she passed halfway into the trilogy. So it's a smart thing to do, to cast somebody to play an old person instead of an old person.
You can't be ages even chill. You can't be like, oh, old, so I can't hire you because you may die.
They can.
Sorry,
I can be
dude, you
cast
might
in
die,
movies.
so it's a no for
I mean,
me.
think about Jessica Tandy and Driving Miss Daisy. She's like was 80-some years old and won the Academy Award. So
I'm sure she wasn't in a movie that they planned a sequel for.
no, it wasn't.
That's the secret.
How is the actress playing the abuelita? She can't be over 50. We're not trying to have her die on us.
She was born. I literally just saw it. I had it up.
Yeah.
She was born in 1956, so she would be 65 roughly.
That's not abuelita.
She's only 65.
He was like, she's only 65.
Man, listen, yo. Favorite? Did you guys have a favorite moment, favorite scene from the film? A standout?
I like the sword and everything to do. You know what? The moment, I guess, spoiler, because I'm going to say a part of the dialogue. It's not that big of a deal. But he said, "Let's not kill. That's not my goal here." And he tells the suit, the beetle, the scarab thing, "All right, that's the rules. We're not going to kill." Well, that mattered. That wasn't just a thing for the scene there. That would matter again a few scenes later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I dig that. Yeah. Jacoby, favorite scene or moment or aspect of the film?
I think it's shown in the trailer, where the feds basically like do the raid on Jaime's house.
Mhm.
Like, I think that was the most powerful. Like, I ended that scene. I think you all know why. Like, bawling. Like, I was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the only movie I cried to for the longest time was the end of Click with Adam Sandler.
Oh, stop. Oh, I can see that. I can see that though.
But
man,
this one, I've teared up to other movies, but this one I was just like, oh, like it was super powerful. Like maybe a little bit of me was just caught off guard. Like I wasn't expecting this from a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it just felt very strong and powerful. And the context to the scene, it's like comparing just ICE raids and like kind of that worry, and it's very clear like the connection that the director is making.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know, I just was like, this is really like strong, and it was very like gut wrenching. Like I was just like, this feels horrible, and like how like each family member was like being separated.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, like I know exactly what the director is trying to say, like show here.
100% agree with you on that one, my man. Yeah, I think the connection was pretty clear, and that's something that Latino families, migrant families have been, especially in recent years, right? With your guys, previous administration and everything, that like major issue, major concern down there, right? So I think that was a clever way, for the director to kind of show the struggle, show, it was great. Yeah, definitely packed an emotional punch. I mean, I didn't cry, but only because I had met Cho for the first time, folks. And I can't show weakness. And,
so next time he gonna cry in front of you.
Next time, maybe like the guy's done a little bit, but this is the first time I'm meeting homies.
Wow,
fair enough. No, I think it would have been hard for them to not like have that kind of message.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. It isn't just like that scene. Like they do kind of touch up on it, like through most of the movie. But
mm-hmm.
It's like you couldn't make this movie without like acknowledging it.
Mm-hmm.
And they really did. They didn't like hold back. And I think that scene was kind of like the big like, see what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because not only that, but on a lot of different aspects of the Latino experience, right? I think I think it's fair to say, yeah, I'm gonna cry in the car. I did cry in the car on the way home. I finally let it out.
You're lucky it was raining, so it just blended in.
Man, Steve knows me so well, man. But I think what's great, is this movie, made for Latinos? I think it is. Yes, absolutely, man. That can't be denied. There's so much things for there that's for the culture, for all of us. But having said that, at the end of the day, this is a movie that everybody can enjoy regardless because it is a well-made, film. It's good action, it's got humor, it's got your emotional beats, man. And it's a good-looking film. I liked it, man. It's a good. I honestly, I was so surprised. I was waiting because how many of the recent comic book movies, the over reliance on the special effects, it's all green screen, and the CGI just simply is not well done, and this one was not that at all. So
it's got to be because the Blue Beetle suit is easy to make. It's got to be because of that. Because some of the other CGI, you think of like the more organic materials that they try to convince you are real. If you're watching a Star Wars, if you're watching something, it never looks right. But this shiny metallic scarab that turns into a suit, it looks how it's supposed to look. The computer is going to create a metallic, blurry, not blurry, the opposite of blurry, sharp, image. And that's what it'll do. That's what it'll look like.
It absolutely, it pops, man. The whole film pops, really. Like clearly, they captured, the vibrancy, the richness of the Latino culture, man, which is great. Like even Palmera City looked great.
Which you said Palmera City is a playoff of what?
I got. Would you agree, Jacoby? I got like heavy Miami vibes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it might be because the director's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, there you go.
Or he's Puerto Rican at least.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's from Puerto Rico. I have his like Google up right now. But yeah, I think it might be because of that. Because
somebody agree with me. That was totally LA. Anyone who's seen the movie?
No, that wasn't LA.
Like the reason why I don't think it's LA is because it just felt too tropical. I've been to I guess I haven't been to Miami, but
I've been in Miami. It looked like Miami.
Yeah, but I've been to LA. Like I have family in LA, and it's just it did not have the dryness. Like if you told me that
the dryness,
the humidity.
And so now we can see humidity.
Humid ass place.
They had swampland out there, so we talked about this in the Greenlands. In the room before. So I looked it up in the movie. I was like, where was this movie filmed? So a lot of it was filmed in Georgia, which is like 2 hours away from me, which makes sense because they have these movie studios in Georgia. But then I see some of it was filmed in El Paso and Puerto Rico. But they did say that even though in the comics they live in El Paso, that the director wanted them to have a more Miami feel to it. So that's why he made up this, So it's Miami. LA looks a lot different. Have you been to LA, Jill? Because LA
facts.
I think so for sure. I think it's clear. Chill, man. It's you're on the water. I think they even mentioned they're located like in the Keys, and I took that as like the Florida Keys, right? So like Miami area, right?
They had that swampland in Florida. Got that swampland, and then they said they weren't too far from Cuba too. So I was like, all right, well. Yeah. I feel like they said
what scene was that? Now you're just making things up. There was a scene. They said they're in Cuba. What?
I said they weren't too far from Cuba. That caught my attention.
I was curious why. I mean, other than just the director, but like, it was very weird that they didn't do El Paso. I think there's a little bit of Blue Beetle fans that didn't like that. I liked how they threw it in. It was kind of cheeky. I thought it was a little bit like a smart ass move, but I was just like, I don't know, like to have it in this like kind of Miami like looking setting. Sorry, chill.
But they said they wanted him to have his own city, like Superman has Metropolis and Batman has Gotham. They wanted him to have Palmera City.
But it's like what superhero has El Paso?
Which is why Blue Beetle was unique. The comic was unique. I'm like, okay, this dude is El Paso.
And but whatever.
it was it Nova, the last Nova, Sam Alexander, who also Latino
He was
Hispanic.
from Carefree, New Mexico, or
Yep.
Arizona.
Yeah, he was in Arizona, New Mexico. So I mean, they tried in comic books, but they were like, when it comes time for movies and TV shows, that's out the window.
I guess so. Whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal for me.
That's because you're
Just
not
for
from
me.
El Paso.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I can see why fans would be upset. If you're actually from El Paso, you're like, well, this is the one. What? Wait, what? So like, you can be upset, but that doesn't mean you paid your ticket, so it's all good.
You know, and I lived in El Paso when I was a baby. My father was in the army, and my mama hated it. She's like, ain't nothing out here but desert. That's all she said. It's like the desert out here.
We got at least one folk in the live chats who are hoping they want Jaime back to El Paso. Hey folks, we're joined by Julio Anta. He knows a little something about Blue Beetle. He's got a story along with Jacoby, DC and Bloom. They got their Blue Beetle story in there. But you guys had him in Miami, no?
We had him visiting Miami. That's why he was on spring break.
Okay, yes, yeah.
And also, Julio's from Miami, so it was a nice little
nod.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be the first time Miami's been featured in a DC comic. We don't know, but
could be.
We're gonna take the claim.
We just gonna claim it right now.
Yeah.
You gotta roll with him, man. You gotta roll because Palmyra City, if I'm not mistaken, in the comics is relatively new, right? I think they just introduced it.
Yeah, it was brand
in Graduation, right? And then they just introduced it. Yeah.
Graduation Day?
Yeah, it was because of the movie that they did it.
Oh.
When I was reading Graduation Day, I was like, okay. You know, and the way they did in Graduation was like, well, you need to go somewhere else, and because where you won't get any trouble, so we'll take you out of El Paso, put you here.
I'm friends with the writer, Josh, and yeah, it was basically like there's like just two things that they wanted him to throw in was Victoria and Palmyra City, and yeah, because I waited till the end of the credits to see if he got like the little special thanks to. And he wasn't there, and I was like, okay, I can see why. Because his book wasn't like based off the movie, but like DC more so was like, hey, can you just add these to your story?
Mm-hmm.
So
they should have shouted that man out. They should have shouted that man out. He wrote a DC comic book featuring Blue Beetle. He should have got the shout out. That's just me,
They didn't take the inspiration from his comic. I think that's how they choose it. But yes, you're not wrong.
Shit, they should have had you and Julio too in the credits, man.
Yeah, we got the Miami in there.
You know what I'm saying? And Julio saying, yeah, Little Havana in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. I loved it, and I dropped the. I'm gonna before the episode's over, folks. I'm gonna pull up.
I can grab my copy real quick.
Yeah, man, go grab it, man. 100%. Great story, folks. Definitely recommend it. This is, I think, Horror and Bloomer.
Well, look at the bright side. They left him Mexico because if it really went full Florida, he would have been more Cuban. Because I've seen more Cubans in Miami than Mexicans in my experience.
This is it.
There you go. Let's see that bad boy here.
Yep.
Nice looking book. Who's the artist on that joint? I said, who's the artist on that joint?
Stop it.
Yeah, man. It's great, man. Check it out, folks, man. You guys are looking for good Blue Beetle stories being told, man. There's your first stop. And then, of course, pick up Graduation Day.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up Graduation Day, which is now an ongoing series, man. I love to see that, man.
I want to throw in one other thing, though. Like, also, just like, this is kind of off topic. It was about how DC marketed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
How they had the trailers, and then they ended it with like, hey, here's the books. I thought that was so smart.
That was smart.
It's so stupid that Marvel doesn't do this shit. I like sorry to like make the comparison between like Marvel and DC, whatever. But I really love that DC is like, hey, here's the trailer. You can buy the books too about the book, like the character. I was just like, it's been, how long has Marvel Studios been doing this now? Like
over 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
So for those who are excited enough after a movie trailer, which is going to happen if it's good, after 2 minutes of can't wait, I'm interested, and then you get to that, it's like, oh, that you might have actually sold a comic book and it costs you nothing and it only gets you money and it takes 4 seconds out of the trailer runtime. Like, who cares? It's not like you're like a TV trailer, sometimes every second is $1 million, some shit like that. This is just a trailer that's going to be online. It doesn't hurt. And so James Gunn is the reason for this. It wasn't happening before him.
Oh yeah, no. I'll give him props for that.
James Gunn's tweets basically made people like sell out of Superman, Supergirl. You know, I was like, what the hell? Because people's like, I'm gonna do a movie with Supergirl, and the trade started selling out because he did that. I'm like, why has nobody else done this before?
Well, he's preparing now. Now, next time he announces a movie, the comic will be on the solicits that same month that he announces it. He talked to Jim Lee. He talked to Jim Lee about it. So now they're not going to have that problem anymore where things sell out. It'll actually be prepped.
They'll be prepared for that, eh?
I used to work at a comic shop, and when the Robert Pattinson Batman was not announced, but I think it was like getting closer to release. I think that's when they started doing a little bit of that. Like, here's the comics, and like so many copies. Like, we sold out of Long Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, do you guys not see the connection here? Like, hello, Marvel, pay attention. Like,
yeah.
But part of the problem, Jacoby, is that basically the people who make these movies don't read comics. They don't know. They're like, oh, there's a comic book about this. Oh yeah. Well, that's an afterthought. I thought it was just a storyboard. That's how they look at it. It's just a storyboard. I didn't realize that the character had been around since 2006 being published.
Yeah.
Business-wise, though, it won't generate that much money compared to what a movie generates, which is like we're talking 200 million. And yeah, it's nice to keep these comic shops around, and it'll give them a little bit of extra help. But in business, like, there's no immediate benefit from it, but there is a reward long term if you convert some of these movie people into comic fans, and then there's more source material to turn into movies later on. So there is a long-term benefit.
Spider-Man's the perfect example of this. Spider-Man's with the #1 merchandising thing because people grew up reading Spider-Man comic books, and that became cartoons, and that became all this other stuff. It's the same plan. It's just they don't want to invest in it long term. It's the same plan.
It is truly a domino effect where it's just like, here we go, and then go back down.
And I want to give a shout out to Pop Cult X in the house. He's gonna have the creative team on his channel for graduation, the Blue Beetle graduation. So chill. He's gonna settle the debate for us.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I'm just gonna tell myself it's LA, and you guys can lie to yourself about the swamp. You can tell all these excuses. Okay, I don't care. LA.
Oh man, he doesn't want to hear it.
I think the big part of why I think it also is Miami is literally just because of the color scheme.
For sure.
Like that's the Miami vice, like that.
Those white suits.
Yeah, the white suits, literally. And like the purple pinkish hues, the bright blue,
the neons and all that stuff.
Yeah, the neons. Absolutely. It was just like, okay, yeah.
We're actually like, that was 5 minutes ago, guys. Let's keep going.
She was like, all right, well, you made your point. Let's move on.
Oh yeah, what's Julio Anta saying? He's saying maybe some more Blue Beetle from Jacoby and I in the future. Oh my gosh, that would be
cool.
That would be very, very cool. I'd very much like to see that, folks.
Me too. I would also like to see that.
Fingers crossed.
And after this much, I have DC Infinite. I mean, DC Infinite is set up like get to know Blue Beetle. They got like 36. I mean, they got a bunch of books and connections. They even got a section for Blue Beetle backup stories in Booster Gold. I'm like, what? I mean, so on that side, they knew what they were doing. Like, all right, a movie's finna come out. Let's make sure we got this stuff ready to go.
Okay. Hey, shout out Black Crown Comics. He's saying I didn't get to watch it yet, so I'm just popping in and show some love and hit that like button. I appreciate that, my man. Have a great one, bro. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, man. Curious to hear your thoughts. No, I wanna keep it on the discussion if it's Miami or LA. So if Julio's still in the house, Miami native, let us know what your thoughts are on Palmetto City, man. I mean, no, in all seriousness, what else was great? This movie, it felt like it was in the DC universe. There were a lot of little nods and Easter eggs, right? But it was done so that it doesn't prevent it from fitting. 100% is what he's saying, man. Yeah.
Y'all have beat this point into the ground now. It's like it's nailed, it's coffin, it's buried. You got me wanting. I'm gonna start looking up trips to Miami because when I did my cruise, we went through Miami. So now, like, man, my daddy's birthday coming up. Maybe I get him to go to Miami for his birthday.
There you go, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of what I was thinking. Downtown Miami on the water, the Keys, the proximity to Cuba. It makes sense, baby. Chill. I got no LA vibes, homie. No LA vibes. Like, I'm not having it. I'm not having it, bro. I mean, let me ask you. I don't know if this is something, Jacoby, that you can answer, perhaps. I mean, would you have the option? Like, would a Blue Beetle story moving forward in the comics have to be set in Palmyra, or is that like? Do you guys get any leeway, creative? Creatively with that kind of stuff, or
I don't know. I don't have like too much. I mean,
like if you said, "Nah, I want him in El Paso," you know.
I think it would depend on like what the story is. Like, obviously, for our story, it was like we just need Blue Beetle to do this, and
okay,
just here's the villain we would like you to use. Like that was kind of the setup for it. So we just kind of like you can pick our location because it was just like a one shot, whatever, have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just to go off of like what Josh told me, the writer of Graduation Day, and if they are like, hey, we want you to use this city, but that was mostly for the movie, like to kind of have the connection between the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would depend. Like, I think if that was this case, we would have to like kind of really make the argument for El Paso.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah, I think it would have to show a good case. But I think
interesting. Yeah.
I think Palmyra is
I said that because you go to Miami, the majority of Latino Hispanic community are Cuban. I said that. I'm like, man, everybody here speaking Spanish, and I realized, oh, they're all Cuban. That's why.
That's the biggest takeaway. Everybody's gonna leave this episode. We gotta find out Miami based or LA based, man.
But sir, to Jacoby's point, that reminds me when we had Chip Zdarsky on here and about how he talked about how he wanted to do certain things, but DC was like, well, you got to do this, or I need to do this and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, are they just heavy-handed? Like, well, you do this, and you send it to the editor, and they're just like, well, you didn't do what we asked you to, so we're going to change this or promote it this way. Has that been your experience, Jacoby?
I mean, it isn't like too heavy-handed. It's like these are pretty. They're, I would say, light requests, honestly, because it's not like it doesn't change the story too much. I think there's like certain context. I think that could have been you wouldn't be able to do if like you had a location in mind, and they're like, hey, no, do it here. But like, I feel like maybe I didn't see the Chip one, but I feel like maybe like if he's doing a Batman story, it's like, of course, DC's gonna be like, keep it in Gotham. Like they're, that is Batman City. And I think the reason why they probably wanted to set up this Palmyra City was because of the movie, but I don't think it's like entirely not a bad idea to kind of give Blue Beetle his own city. Plus, like I'm looking at the comment right now from Julio. He says like he can go back to El Paso. Like it's not out of the book. And like his parents are still there in the comics. So I think it's kind of smart, just like give him a completely fresh start. He has his own city, and it's like not impossible for him to go back if he has to. Like there's obviously, if they for some reason they have to start a new Blue Beetle run with a new creative team, they have the option now where they can be like, oh, now we have like 2 Blue Beetle cities, where it's like El Paso or Palmyra City, and
anywhere but LA. Anywhere but LA. What was that?
We can tell in the movies. We'll tell ourselves he was from El Paso. At a young age, he moved over to Palmyra City. But don't worry, the El Paso is represented. People, be happy.
Yeah, man. Enjoy. Enjoy it.
Hey, man. El
Yeah,
Paso's an interesting place, man. I don't remember. My mom's like, yeah, I didn't like living out there. My pops was like, hey, we used to go to Mexico all the time, so he didn't care.
Sounds hot. Sounds
Oh, it
hot.
is hot. It's
Yeah.
it's desert.
Oh,
it is desert.
hey,
Yeah, I mean,
something.
Population 600 million.
Where?
El Paso.
600 million.
million, bro. What are you going on about?
Googled.
We know that ain't right. I don't think no city on earth with 600 million people.
You mean
Oh,
600,000?
I said million. My mistake.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what?
600,000.
600,000.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, man. Hey, you know what we haven't touched on? How great was the score, the soundtrack?
hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. The soundtrack was on point from the opening scene. You had Calle 13, and then you had there's this one scene. There was this one scene I damn near lost my shit. It was towards the end of the movie, and they dropped a little Cypress Hill action.
I knew you were gonna say something about that.
He made a finger gun at the
I
time.
did the gun fingers in the theater. You know what I mean? I got hyped, man. I said, okay, they're throwing in something there for the homeboys and the essays and the Vato Locos and all that good stuff, man. And I said, it's great, man. I loved it, man. But yeah, the score was on point, man. I loved it. I loved it.
Sergio, you are a very old school hip hop, New York hip hop fan
Mhm.
specifically. I don't never hear you talk about West Coast, but you always talk about some New York area,
Hey,
late
listen,
80s, 90s hip hop.
but I love the essays. You gotta show love to Cypress Hill and those guys, man. So that was very cool, man.
I think the part that made me lose it, it was like very much the beginning of the movie is when Uncle Rudy pulls up in the big ass truck and he's playing La Chona. I was just like, like the soundtrack was perfect. That was a lot of old like songs that I've heard from growing up and going to a bunch of quinces and then passing out under the table, with the two chairs next to each other.
Oh man, yo, talk about the Latino experience, man. If you've never been to like an all-night party, they just let the kids, they connect the chairs, bro, and then they put the coat on top and
or just push the chairs under the table so you're just sleeping under there and you just pass out like this.
Yeah. I think they had some Selena in there too.
Mhm.
Who else did they have in there? They should have had Pun. They should have had Big Pun. That's my only critique. That's the only thing I'll say.
They didn't have Big Pun. Okay.
They have Cypress Hill.
So they got the culture, but except for Big Pun.
Oh man, it was great, Michael. I don't think I asked you, man, your favorite moment from Blue Beetle.
My favorite moment, I think I already discussed it, is when he transformed in front of the family. Because like I said, I you could have been watching it like, this is happening, but that's the part where he's actually drawn in because everybody is excited, like, what's going on here? What's going on? And then his relationship with the romantic lead, man, especially the ending, I dig that because I was like, yeah, that's what I go to movies for. I got no problem with my old lady and paying bills and all that stuff. And I go and escape. I'm like, all right, yeah, I feel good now. Like, all right, it's gonna work out in the end. So yeah, the transformation and the ending. I'm not gonna tell you what happened in the ending, but it made me feel good.
Absolutely, I dig it, man. What did you guys think about the action? On point.
I loved it actually.
Oh yeah. And I like that every action scene had like a beginning where we all got to settle in and be prepared for this. Like the sword would move in slow motion, we're checking them out, or the music would build up and we go, okay, here we go. It's time for some action. Why is my face covered right now? And we know it was a lot of prep, and it wasn't just straight up into the shot. Like remember when the bus breaks into half? Yeah, he got his wings.
Right.
They fold. They turn in. They dig into the ground. Things progressed.
Yeah, it wasn't like quick cuts, like just like what the hell's going on? No, I thought the action was solid. Actually, like I noticed like with each fight scene, and there wasn't like too many fight scenes, which I think actually worked out for the story. He figured out how to get better with it, and I think that third act fight was really good. I thought it wasn't. like I feel like a lot of superheroes they kind of drop the ball on those like last fight, like third act fight scenes. But I thought it was really good, had the right amount of emotion, and it was very clear. And
Yeah,
I thought the action was really good. I enjoyed it.
for
Now,
sure.
one thing I thought about watching it was like, man, I would love to see Blue Beetle fight a Green Lantern, and maybe that comes from the comic books because I think the Reach are like an enemy of the Green Lantern Corps. But as he was doing stuff, I was like, man, I would love to see him fight a Green Lantern. And I know they have this Lantern show coming up. I would love to see that in live action. It'd just be interesting to me.
Who's winning that fight, Marquelon?
Well, of course, I'm gonna say the Green Lantern's gonna win,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
but the Scarab and the Reach are gonna give them a beating. It ain't gonna be no easy fight.
The Reach is no joke. Jacob, who do you think is winning that fight?
Depends which lantern. If it's
Yeah.
Guy Gardner, I want Blue Beetle one.
Okay,
See, he's like tangent though. I hate Guy Gardner. I hate that funny era Justice League.
I mean, who doesn't hate Guy Gardner?
Yeah, I mean,
But,
like
but Guy Gardner's more acceptable now than he's ever been.
I guess I don't know. Depends on what story you're reading.
The Tom King story, he was a tick again.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's my boy, like Blue Beetle, I'll just take him.
No,
I
no,
mean,
Boy,
it'll just look more fucked up if Hal Jordan tried to fight him. Like,
Yeah.
why you fighting a kid, bro? Like, pick.
I mean, an experienced Lantern would win. I mean, experienced Lantern would win. But I easily think Jaime Ramos could be the less experienced Lantern easily. But your core five, your Hal Jordan, your John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Simon Bass, Jessica
Cruz, baby.
Jessica Cruz, and now Sojourner Mullen. You got 6 core lanterns now. Well, 7 you want to count Alan Scott. He probably be none of them.
That's crazy. Who's the new guy? Who's that?
Far Sector, Sojourner Mullen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I keep to check that out. I keep hearing good stuff about that.
That was a great book. N.K. Jemisin, the Hugo Award-winning author, she wrote that series, and then when Jeff Thorne was writing Green Lantern, he integrated her in.
Okay, wow. So what are you guys thinking for the future of Blue Beetle? Are we gonna get more of him in the DCU?
No, we know he's not on slate for anything in their chapter 1.
Well, so far.
He might be on the Watchtower in a movie just as a cameo, and that'll be that. But there's nothing really long term for him. I think that I don't know. I think it's too early. If this movie makes a lot of money, yes, he'll be there. If this movie just does what it does, maybe a couple $100 million, if we're lucky, or if it flops, then don't expect any movie out of Blue Beetle. Expect him to be part of an ensemble.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. Blue Beetle's been put in a tough position, right? Like the actors, they can't promote the film.
Yeah.
Like it can't be overstated how important it is to.
Right, and somebody said something about that in the comments, didn't they?
Yeah, I was looking for some. I think Figure was saying earlier, Gunn has not confirmed Xolo being
He did
in his universe. Yeah, so I did want to say this. I mean, Gunn has come out and straight up. He said Blue Beetle is gonna be, and maybe Chill, you can pull up that I don't know if you could find that quote or the tweet or whatever it was, but yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, yeah, I mean, it's been confirmed that he's gonna have a place in the new DCU, which is dope. I mean, I don't see how you can have him, right? I mean, what's Figure saying here? SAG-AFTRA gave Kevin Smith a waiver to work in spite of the strike, but Blue Beetle was left out in the cold. The actors could not promote it. Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
especially George Lopez, because George Lopez, who once had a national talk show, he'd have been huge promoting this movie, man.
But who was it? You, Jacoby, was saying earlier you weren't feeling Lopez in the film.
Oh, I mean, like, I actually really loved his character, but it's just George Lopez. So you get that George Lopez personality with it.
You think George Lopez schnick, he does this whole George Lopez thing.
But I loved him. I couldn't hate on it because he was perfect.
Yeah.
I think I felt like a lot of corny moments could have came from him, But they were all really funny, and he did his role of being like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
So I can't hate on him. It was just, it
and
could have gone bad easily with his role, I think.
But to go to your point, you said earlier, I mean, everybody played a role. He played a role too, even when he was talking. I mean, George Lopez was arguably the second biggest star in this movie. I mean, Susan Sarandon, George Lopez. They established people. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, at least yeah, their names are more known.
Man,
I thought it was cool. He did his thing. I didn't mind him. I thought it was funny. I mean, he had his taco, right? His fucking Tacoma. Yeah, I thought, yeah, there wasn't any character. I think, yeah, they all played their part, man. It was a great ensemble cast, I would say.
And I would love to see, other stuff these actors in, like, the sister. I know she was in Hocus Pocus 2, which I have now watched because I'm into actually real scary stuff, not spooky, not scary stuff. But my ex-girlfriend, she used to watch Hocus Pocus all the time,
You talking about the old with the three witches? The old,
yeah, they did a Hocus Pocus 2 maybe about 2.5 years ago. She's in that.
Yeah. Oh my god! Wow. Because the original came out like 20
90s. Yeah.
Holy. So what do you got here, my man?
Well, unfortunately, James Gunn deletes his tweets, so I couldn't find his.
Oh.
But I found someone screenshot the tweet where he says, yes, Blue Beetle played by the wonderful 𝐬𝐸 and a handful of other characters will continue in the DCU. Even though the first DC Studios movie is Superman Legacy, the first DC Studios project is the animated TV Creature Commandos.
There you go. I mean, I think that's pretty straightforward,
It's kind of not straightforward enough. Like, you need to say that it's part of the DCU or it's not. But he just said the character is. So whatever. They'll keep the same casting and the same actor, but maybe not the same continuity if they need to break it.
Okay. I mean, if you're gonna bring over this iteration of Blue Beetle, which it sounds like he is, I mean, you got to bring over like the rest of the cast. I feel like the family. You can at this point.
It doesn't work like that.
The actors
it doesn't work like that, Sergio. Think about it. Like, think about it. Endgame. We get to see certain people, but they ain't bringing Scott Lang's daughter and wife and 𝐬𝐸. They ain't bringing other people over. That.
Yeah. Figure drawing asking. I guess that info is new. I want to say I saw it a couple weeks ago. I mean, the lead up. Within the last month or so. I don't know how new it is, but I mean, which is great. It's good news, right? I feel like he had to say that, right? Because otherwise you're getting another Flash situation. People are like, I don't want to go see this because it doesn't matter in the new universe, right?
So my question is, because me and my homie were talking about this. This is not the last one. The last movie still supposed to be Aquaman, correct? The last.
I forget about that.
Yeah. Walter Hamada era DC movie is supposed to be Aquaman too.
What up, Two Stoned to review. Okay.
Jason Momoa is a bigger star, and I think Aquaman 1 made $1 billion, so they can make it. They can make a very successful movie. They don't have the same problem what they did with the lead actor, but they do have Amber Heard. But I don't think that matters because the movie's not Cardmera.
But Amber Heard, that whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing is trending like on Netflix this week. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous, Because I remember when people in my job were watching that trial every day. I'm like, why are you watching this?
So sad.
It was quality entertainment.
But that could be why Jason Momoa has such a big role in The Flash. They were like, all right, we know he got a movie coming out, so maybe that's why they kept showing scenes of him.
I mean, the way that The Flash didn't make money showed me how important it is to actually have your lead actor show up on the carpets and show up on the talk shows and how important that is. This was prior to the strike, right? So that he could have, but they...
Right. They didn't want nobody to interview him, basically. That's what they wanted. Like, no, you don't need to say nothing to nobody.
Yeah, that's a whole other situation. They're trying to avoid the big mess with Buddy and his drama.
James Gunn and Zaslav and them saw that. They learned, so did the rest of Hollywood, and I think they know now the value of what these actors do when it comes to promoting. And if that's the case, you don't really got to have these $200 million advertising budgets. Just put your leads on the radio shows and on the the appropriate places, you know what I mean? And actually pay them because it's much easier just to pay them a couple extra million than it is to pay for these TV spots during primetime TV like they matter. They don't.
Well, I mean, Tom Cruise is the prime example of that, and the way Tom Cruise got into it, like trying to get Mission Impossible into those, keep Mission Impossible's IMAX theaters. He's the kind of person you want to out there because he gonna actively sell his movie. Like, hey, I'm finna sell this movie, and I'm finna fight to make sure my movie's every screen it can be on.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Will Smith to an extent, but Will Smith don't got his problems since he slapped Dave Chappelle, so he ain't what he used to be.
Man, hey, Hollywood, that's a drama, man. Never at a what's what I'm looking for, man. I haven't had my coffee.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Thank you, Chuck. Okay.
Channel 51.
Yeah, man. There you go, my man. Okay. So, final question regarding Blue Beetle. So you guys gonna go watch it again in theaters?
I would watch it again. I mean, as I left, I was like, okay, I enjoyed this enough to go watch it again. And honestly, I probably hadn't felt that strongly since Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I was like, I need to go watch Across the Spider-Verse again. So,
yeah.
I mean, with that being said, I did enjoy Flash, Fury of the Gods, all that stuff. But I knew Fury of the Gods was gonna come on Max. I'm like, I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I'm gonna see that. I know the Flash is gonna pop up somewhere. But yeah. If I want to feel good, yeah, I'm gonna go see Blue Beetle again.
Yeah. Okay, Jacoby, you watching Blue Beetle in theaters again?
I think I'd be down to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm not a big go to theaters twice though. I'm just not a big theater guy.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But
I had to show up for my guy. And I'm glad I did because that was really good. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it already, but it was just like I was going in not with high expectations, but I left like that was a fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, cussing again, but
it's great. No, it's cool, man. Yeah, I think it bears repeating, and I was right there with you, Jacoby. My expectations were not necessarily high, somewhat tempered, and I was like more than pleasantly surprised, man. Yeah, thoroughly entertained. I loved it. I enjoyed it. So many aspects of it. So for me, definitely I'm gonna watch it at least once more, potentially more. Chill. What say you, man? You going back?
I think I would go back to see it, considering there's really nothing I'm interested in, and considering like the right company. I would say no, we got to see Blue Beetle. I can think of a couple of people that I'd watch it with.
Okay.
I'll do an in-theater review with them too.
Okay. Man, you're just doing in-theaters review to everybody. I thought I was special. No,
you're not special.
He said you're not special. He said, maybe we got to clear it up right now. You're not special at all.
Oh, man. Okay.
You're special in God's eyes, okay.
Yeah, man. Folks, if you have not watched it yet, or you don't have plans to, man, definitely, man, Blue Beetle, support this one, man. We wanted to have like good word of mouth and hopefully some legs to it, and we want to see him be featured. I want to see. He has to, man. The performance was too good. Like
I think it's because I was looking at the what James Gunn's movies or that whole DC slate is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the closest thing there is like a Booster Gold movie or show
mm-hmm.
that is on that slate, and I feel like if there's any place he'll be, I think it'll be there. There's just like too much. I know it's not with Jaime Blue Beetle. It's usually with Ted, but like
mm-hmm.
The Cord family is featured in Blue Beetle, and I think it's like they're too close to not have them featured.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, they've definitely laid the threads there with the Cord Blue Beetle. So I think there's a way to incorporate You know,
Ooh,
I'm
ooh. I got a question.
to
Who do
go.
y'all think? I saw someone over there. They said, "Who do y'all think should play Ted Cord Blue Beetle?"
Oh, I got a good one here for you.
All right, what you
Let me
got?
know what you guys think. You guys familiar with Ted Lasso?
That's who I heard, and I was like, he would be good in
Oh,
that.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yes,
Yep, Jason Sudeikis.
Interesting.
I think he'd be great. I think it'd be great. What do you guys? I mean, he's got that vibe, you know. I don't know.
He just, I mean, Ted Cord, and it's just like some guy, white guy with brunette hair. So it's like, you know,
But
they
Jason,
have a whole ass bucket, you know, filled of just actors. They could be like, nah, like, oh, maybe this guy. I don't know. I'd be more
He's gotta
interested
be-
in the Booster Gold acting. You know, what blonde
Oh.
actor can they get for that?
but you think about it, on Legends of Tomorrow, then they have Donald Faison, you know, from Clueless, Scrubs, playing black guy playing Booster Gold on Legends of Tomorrow.
They did. I forgot about that.
Hey, man.
And that's why temporary representation is not the solution, everybody. They hire and cast somebody like that to play Booster Gold, and it's not going to matter because
I
when
guess
James Gunn does
not.
Booster Gold, it's going to be a white guy. So don't ever celebrate these stand-ins for
I
really,
set 'em up for
don't
him.
ever go, wow, we're getting progression, when really you're just getting something that is taking away, because now the studio, they satisfied their black quotas, and we're not going to get actual black characters who are going to be there again and again. We can't. And look, I know I got a big fan upstairs right over here, a big fan of the Kukul Khan. I don't care. When they do Namor after the reboot, it's going to be a
Kukul Khan.
Caucasian guy. Namor McKenzie is his name, and they'll return to that.
Hey, it's okay, bro. I get what you're saying, but I'll take Homeboy as Namor.
Well, but you know, but he's in trouble now, and he has some sexual harassment charges on him now.
Yep.
No, it was an allegation.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
the allegation is enough in some cases.
that's crazy, man. Nobody's safe these days, man.
I think going back to that Booster Gold thing, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I think
cool.
they could have sold that more if they had Donald Faison. I mean, they did, but they had a Zach Braff as a Blue Beetle. I think more people would have made a noise about that, from like the duo from Scrubs.
Oh, okay. But who are you guys thinking? Donald Faison to play who?
Well, he did play Booster Gold in the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a black. Oh, that's what. So this is where the car. Sorry, I missed that part. A black.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
See,
Oh.
you're not up on your comic book lore, man.
Well, the TV. That's TV though, eh?
Yeah, that's
It's,
TV.
it's,
Yeah.
it's TV based on comic books, though. Although Legends of Tomorrow went off stopped using comic books as its basis years ago. Like after the first season, they were like, "Oh, we should make it up as we go along."
Figure drawing saying Ted Lasso got boring right quick. I'll say this much: season 1 was an absolute fucking gem. Like so
Come
good.
on.
2, it lost some of its charm. I think it tried to go like too serious, too dark. And then 3 rebounded a bit. I enjoyed 3, but you can't.
Man, here we go with this. This is what I'm gonna say. Ted Lasso is a modern day reinvention of Gomer Pyle. Have y'all ever seen Gomer Pyle? That's all Ted Lasso is. It's a good dude that everybody thinks is stupid, but no matter how bad they try and make him look, he always comes out because he's good. That's Ted Lasso.
Oh,
He's
really?
Gomer Pyle.
Okay, I've never
Gomer
heard.
Pyle was a spinoff of Andy Griffith, you know.
Okay.
So watch Andy Griffith, watch Gomer Pyle. He goes joins the Marine Corps. And people are like, this guy's a country bumpkin. He doesn't know anything, but he's a good person.
Okay. Might have to check that out, buddy. I might have to check that out. So yeah, you were asking. Excuse me. What was the casting you were looking there for, Marquelon?
Ted Cord,
Yeah.
which I agree with you on Jason Sudeikis.
I said Jason. Jacoby said any white guy with brown hair.
No, seriously, you're right. Anyway, hey, he's got to be old enough to be Jen's father, right? So someone 54, 55, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they do like some time. This might go into spoilers, but fuck it. Unless they go into some time stuff, you know, pull an Interstellar.
Mhm.
Say, I didn't age. You're like, or I guess it's just more referential the MCU Scott Lang.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I
something
mean,
like
it's the same thing, you know, because
Yeah.
what's his name? That's been around flown for years. I can tell you what his name is right now. Plays Scott Lang.
that.
Paul Rudd or
Paul Rudd. Yeah, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd been floating since Clueless too. He was in Clueless. I'm saying Clueless is like the theme of this movie on this episode.
It's crazy. He's been around for forever too, eh? Holy.
Hey, but he looks amazing. Good for him.
It's
When
not
you have money, you can eat right and work out all
Yeah.
time. People to work you out all time.
But he's doing it the right way. He's using the money the right way.
Yeah. He's not going to Charlie Sheen way.
He's actually using lotion, not just for his arms.
Yeah, it's sneaky for any white guy.
I don't know. I guess if I really had to choose, I know some people really liked what I feel like someone like suggested like Seth Rogen and one of his friends. I don't know.
Seth Rogen? Oh, as no.
Seth Rogen blew it for me when he played Green Hornet. I was like, man.
Yeah. Have you guys seen TMNT? His new
Yeah, dude, that was so freaking good.
Is
I
it?
love that. I loved it.
Yeah?
I was laughing that whole movie. It was super funny. I think it was a little emasculating during the previews, and you had to go through the Paw Patrol trailer. But like,
okay.
After that, I mean, I was like, oh, like this is a really funny movie.
Okay. I gotta check it out, man. I've heard good things. My oldest, he said he enjoyed it, but he was telling me, he said he didn't necessarily like that they made the turtles too childlike.
They made them teenagers, basically.
But I told my kid, I'm trying to school my kid. I'm trying to show him the way. I'm like, my guy, they're the teenage Ninja Turtles. He's like, yeah, but I like an older teenager. Like, you know, I said, no, man. I haven't seen it yet, but I like the idea of fresh teenagers, 13, 14. You're just kind of like very childlike, just having fun, man. You know?
I think that was a big selling point for me, like when that first trailer dropped.
Yeah.
I was like kind of like just thinking about it. I was like, I'm not like a big turtle fan just in general, but like I felt like I have yet to see a like TMNT where that first T is really emphasized.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They are teenagers.
Yeah.
I forget, it's usually just MNT for me, And I love like in the movie, they very much are like teenagers, and I think it's super funny and like yeah, I'd see this stuff and be like, yeah, that sounds like something teenagers would do.
100%. I'm right there with you, 100%, man. The thing for me when I saw it is they were leaning into the teenage aspect, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I might have to do a double feature on Monday. I'm finally getting to watch Oppenheimer, man. So I'm excited for that. I know that's gonna be like insane.
It's gonna be a bomb.
Have you seen it, Chill? Yeah. Does it live up to expectations?
Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine movie. Just make sure you're in the middle of the theater for the IMAX, and you'll like it.
Oh, I'm doing the IMAX 70 mil, so that's what I was waiting for. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Use the bathroom before you watch it. It's over 3 hours.
I mean, it's a Chris Nolan movie, so you can't really go to the bathroom at all.
No, man. Figure drawing saying 30 something. Yeah, we're finally getting the opposite of that, man. Pop Cult X saying, I like that they actually cast young teenagers to voice their characters. Oh, they did too, eh? That's pretty cool.
They look like kids.
So it's authentic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's actually one of the other comments my kid said. He said they sound like little babies, like little kids. I said, well, what are you?
Check this out. They are.
Jacoby, please talk to my kid, bro. I'm trying to instill it. I don't know where I failed him.
It's okay. I don't need to argue with the teenager.
I mean, a teenager's what, 13 years old, basically?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they sound like a 13-year-old.
Oh, and they did the voice acting in the same room. Okay. So you probably get good chemistry like that, good synergy. So many good to great movies released the last couple of weeks. Yeah, man. Oh,
like Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle at the top of the list. You know what else I watched? Right after Blue Beetle, my kid, we did the double header. Mission Impossible. Holy shit. Like, I don't know how that didn't blow up like Top Gun. That was like No word of a lie, dude. One of the best action flicks I've seen, man.
And I love the Mission
Ever.
Impossible movies, but what got me, Sergio, is it's a part one, and I feel like you really have to see part two to really make a complete assessment of it.
Yeah,
But it was good. It was good. I mean, I watched all the Mission Impossible, rewatched all the Mission Impossibles leading up to this, on
yeah.
Paramount Plus. I'm like, okay,
Oh, you did, eh?
yeah, and then also, I mean, Tom Cruise lost that battle to Oppenheimer. He was trying to keep it in theaters so it could make more money, but they were like, nah, we're going
He
to
was trying
Oppenheimer.
to keep it in premium theaters because the screenings at your local theater, they only got one IMAX screen, and you want that premium screen to be your film. Unfortunately, not. Well, what he did though is he had Mission Impossible come a few days earlier because what was competing with him? Indiana Jones. He knew that was going to be a very terrible movie, so he got it 2 extra
Well,
days.
nobody wants to see an 80-some-year-old Harrison Ford, man. That's basically what we are.
That's what I'm saying. Well, so to Zach Attack Reviews comment here saying Mission Impossible is insane, but for some reason people didn't talk. But yeah, that's what I was getting to. I'm like, how this didn't blow up? Like again, I was like completely blown away. Maybe because I wasn't expecting anything. I'm not a Mission Impossible fan. I don't.
Man, I am a definite Mission Impossible. I mean, my friend Marcus I had on the show. He said, man, I am firmly convinced that somebody told Tom Cruise he could not be James Bond. He's like, I'm gonna show you me doing James Bond.
It was
He said,
insane.
I feel the power of Scientology going through me.
I mean, and Mission Impossible, the franchise has legs. I mean, the first Mission Impossible came out like 1996,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are with 2023, and they still making them.
Wild. I feel like Jacoby. Do you watch? Do you tune in regularly? Because I've dropped that joke more than
yeah.
on here. Or maybe it's a common thing. People know the power of Scientology is no joke, folks.
The power of Scientology.
That's why I don't.
This man is 61 years old doing this shit.
But he doesn't look. You talking about Paul Rudd now? Now Tom Cruise definitely don't look and act his age.
No, he is.
No, it's insane, dude. It's insane.
This man's tried to kill himself so many times, and he's like, fuck. Not this guy.
Well,
he's like, don't worry.
Well, he's like, if Jackie Chan can do it, he can avoid killing himself. Let me see what I can do.
Have you guys seen it? Mission
I have
Impossible?
not.
I've seen it, man. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. It's probably my top 3. I'm gonna put John Wick Chapter 4 above that. That's probably my number 1. Actually, and this surprised the hell out of me, Extraction 2 on Netflix is probably my second favorite action movie. Then Mission Impossible was on that 3rd slot.
Okay.
And I had, like you, I had no hopes for Extraction. I'm like, let me just watch it. I watched that scene when that jail scene alone is what makes that movie.
That's Denzel Washington, no?
No, that's Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth. Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. Equalizer 3 is what you think. That's coming
Equalizer,
out.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
So I'm gonna go see that and just see how it pops out because I gotta support Denzel.
Had to throw a little cut toward the Flash, eh? He does though. I mean, that movie was nuts, dude. There's a train scene. I was legit tense. I was so scared. I was nervous. I was like on the edge of my seat, and I'm looking over my kid. He's biting his nails. I'm like, oh my, it's you too, eh? Like, it was nuts, man. I don't know. I guess it's just one of those. You just go in and you just like, I don't know, without expectations, and you're like, oh shit, this was actually like really good. So
yeah, I mean it's good, but I definitely want to see part 2.
You guys, man, the power is no joke for sure, man.
The power of Christian Science compels you. That what you saying?
Chill, are you an action guy?
I'm gonna watch The Equalizer.
Yeah.
And then I think the next time I go to the theaters, it will be for a Blue Beetle rewatch.
See, I love to hear that, man. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Zach's right there with me, man. That train scene was nuts. The whole movie, though, like the car chase, one of the best car chase scenes I've ever seen.
The car chase is very good, especially if you're Haley Atwell. I mean, even in the airport, I mean, it's good spy play. I'd rather watch a Mission Impossible movie over a James Bond movie at this point. I would,
Yeah, see, I haven't seen any of the recent James Bond films either. Like these kind of like films, not necessarily my cut, like Jason Bourne. They're all like, I don't know, but this was very good. Yeah.
This next comment is ridiculous. You binge Mission Impossible, but it's the best action series? Like superhero movies don't exist?
Whoa.
Well, that's different, though.
I'm
I mean,
wrong.
I definitely classify superhero movies from action movies,
Yeah.
because I mean, y'all remember any like watch old action movies like Cobra with Stallone or Commando with Schwarzenegger, Speed with Keanu Reeves. Those are what I consider action movies. Was this a
Mhm.
regular guy or Die Hard? Die Hard, perfect example, is a regular dude that has a chance of getting shot and blown up.
Best Christmas movie ever. Best Christmas movie ever. Hey,
I don't watch Die Hard for Christmas, but I get where y'all say that though.
Christmas movie, man. This is not up for debate, sir. Not in
Like I
this
said,
house.
I'm not gonna argue it, but I get why y'all say that.
Hey, Jacoby, anything you can talk to us? What do you have coming up in terms of the comic book game, man?
I'll do a little plug.
Yep.
Debut graphic novel, Frontera.
Ooh.
Just to reiterate, it's written by 𝐬𝐴NTA, drawn by me. It's about a boy immigrating back into the country through the Sonoran Desert, and he meets a ghost out there, and it's a very emotional story. It's very grounded. What else? I got can I? One second.
Yeah, man. Cause you and Julio have a couple things.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of stuff.
The
I just got these in not too long ago. It's only Teenage Wasteland, the trade.
Let me see that back.
Oh man,
Yeah.
and I did enjoy that. Sergio put me on his only Teenage Wasteland, so
I really love not to diss on the singles, but like the trade for this looks the design for it's super sick.
Yeah, I do. Do I see some spot gloss on there?
Yeah, dude, they got spot gloss. Like
That's sick.
Maybe better on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that shines. I love that.
Yep, we got that shine.
Folks, real talk. Seriously, man, check out It's Only Teenage Wasteland. I'll never get tired of saying issue 1. I mean, the whole series was great, but issue 1.
Yeah.
I think issue 1 what we did is a copper drop, and it was really good. I mean, it was really good, man.
Oh my god, you guys killed it, man. The whole
what else we got? We got in 2026, if you want to be aware. We got our first middle grade graphic novel, Julio and I, called Paco and Tiny.
Okay.
It comes out 2026, so it's like I'm not going to talk too much about it. And next year we have our first IP book. Maybe we might have discussed it today, maybe not, but that's it. That's my little teaser for you.
Okay. So Jacoby and Julio, maybe their first IP book, potentially teased it earlier. You're gonna have to rewind, catch the replay, all that if you want.
But that one is scheduled for next year fall. So
next fall, eh? Okay, 2024 fall 20. That's a little closer. I can actually see that now.
Yeah.
2026. I'm like, man, I'm struggling to even see a week into the future. I don't know what's happening. So cool, no man. But you guys, hey folks, check out Jacoby. Where can everybody find you at, my man?
At Not Jacoby.
Okay.
Is JA my name's right there. NOT and then put my first name.
Okay.
I guess I'm on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do TikTok, see how that goes.
And Snapchat. We had a discussion about that.
Yeah, not Snapchat. That's for the person.
Oh, okay.
No Snapchat, please. No one add me on Snapchat. I swear
that's why I talked to my real friend on Snapchat.
If I had Snapchat, I'd probably hit you up. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks.
You don't have Snapchat?
Dude, I'm too old for Snapchat, bro.
Man, you're not too old for Snapchat. But I'm gonna tell you this, my sister that's like junior in college, that's the only way I can talk to her consistently is on Snapchat. Because she'll be there. I mean, seriously. I don't call her. I like to mess on Snapchat. She'll reply to that.
See, that's brutal, man.
Yep. have the Snapchat combos and then the text combo people. There is a separation between the two.
Okay. Chill, where can everybody find you at, my man?
If you type Chillmonger, I'm everywhere. Sometimes there's like an extra R because someone took the screen name already. But that's where I am, Chillmonger.
Okay.
Watch the YouTube review I did with Sergio a couple days ago. It's right inside the movie theater talking about Blue Beetle.
Yeah, man. Check out his channel, man. Dig what you're doing over there. You're blowing up, bro. Keep it up, my man. I know Marquelon, you wanted to get into some comic book talk.
Oh yeah, because I actually do what we're supposed to do here.
I feel like we might have to save it for next week, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
Just looking at the time, we're pushing 2 hours, and I got some things.
I can tell you like we got time. I got some things I need to do. Yeah. That's fine. But I did have some my picks for last week, so you'll have that, and we'll see. But I was very pleased with this week. The week.
Hit us real quick. Tell us your top. Tell us your top three. What do people need to be reading, man?
Man, my top three were from DC Icon versus Hardware #4. I've seen some people hating on it, but I actually enjoyed it. Well, should you put my slides up? You want me to go through it?
Oh, there you go. Chill's right there. He's got the icon.
He's ready.
Yeah, I mean, basically, short synopsis. Hardware went back in time and basically erased slavery, and he messed up time by doing it. I was like, what? But I like, because people are like, if you had a time machine, you black, why would you not go back and do this? I mean, that's what I'm going to erase slavery. And basically, all these things are unstuck in time. You got like Hitler, Nazis showing up in modern day, Dakota. And you have the different heroes. What I like this, you have the different heroes. Like you have Static, the Blood Syndicate, everybody's like coming to fight these time inversions that are coming in present day.
Okay.
So I liked it. So
nice.
Right.
Next?
Go to the next one. The next one is Sirens in the City. I like the first issue. The second issue is even better to me. One, Kyrie Randolph on the art. I love that. I love that use of, well, I don't know what you're the art guy. I mean, basically they use a little bit of color, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red.
Yeah.
A grayscale. Yeah. But I love that, man. I mean, this book looks great. The story is actually good. It actually explains stuff like, oh, what's going on? Where does she get these powers from? What is a siren?
Yeah.
What is an incubus?
And you're saying it's better than issue 1, Marquelon?
I think it's better than issue 1 because it actually explains what's going on. I'm like,
see, I enjoyed issue 1, and it's curious that you say that, just because I had one of the contributors for the House of Nerd Show.com website. He was gonna write up a review for Signs of the City. He wrote up a positive one for issue 1, and then he came back to me. He's like, bro, I don't think I can write a review for this. It'll be like overly negative. Like, I found it slow, and he gave me a couple reasons. I told him, I said, to be honest, like we don't only publish. I'm not aiming to just publish positive. Sometimes, we gotta be honest, and we gotta put out like the negative stuff out there. But he didn't want to write it up. So I said, that's fair, that's cool, man. But so it's curious. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you're saying, no, it's actually, I'm thinking.
I enjoyed it. Like I just moved on to the next slide. I mean, basically, I love the colors, I love the artwork. You basically have these characters coming together, and then let's see, basically this scene right here, she's explaining like, hell, you're a siren. This is what a siren is. Because I was like, you read the first, you didn't know what was going on. You just know this girl got powers. She talks and people listen to her. This actually explains this is what's going on.
Okay.
We know you're pregnant, but you're pregnant by this incubus. That's a bad thing. A siren should not be able to get pregnant by incubus. I like stuff that be explained. Like, okay, it's a dark fantasy, a dark twisted fantasy. Kanye.
No, I'm with it, man. It's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed issue 1, so I'll be checking this one out once I have it out.
All right, and my number 1 is the antagonist.
Oh,
GOTHAM Comics. I have been hearing about this book since 2019, probably, and for some reason I don't know. I didn't, I'm not a Kickstarter guy until I start hanging with y'all. Now, I'm willing to do Kickstarters.
Yeah.
But this is probably one of the best-selling independent Black comic books of all time at this point. To the point it's finally got into stores. It's in previews now. And I just, when I saw him on his Instagram, I'm like, hey, you can order previews for number 2. I hit my LCS up on Sanctum Tattoos and Comics, and I was like, well, can I get issue 1? They got issue 1 in.
Okay.
So the base of the premise is, black people are superhuman, but they the villains, they the antagonists.
Oh.
But it's a family. It's a black family, and they're rich and they're powerful, but they the villains as well. And the scenes I showed is basically the wife is this like big time commercial real estate broker who was up for promotion, and there's a lot of words in here. Basically she got screwed over, hit the glass ceiling. Found the dude was saying, the dude that was supposedly backing her was like, "Oh, I didn't back you at all." She was like, "Fine, just say it, just tell me the truth." He's like, "Fine, I never intended to promote you. I need you to keep you in your place. You subservient to me. You're not better than me. I'm never gonna allow you to get a chance to be better than me. Your job is to work for me and make money. That's it." And she got pissed off and killed him.
I like the narrations.
Especially this part right here. He said, "You don't know who you fucking with." And she basically proceeded to blast him.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm just gonna tell you, I can tell you how many black women I know have been held in certain positions in their job and wish they could do this.
Oh shit! It looks cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think for the people who support it on the Kickstarter and on his website directly, GOTHAMCENTRALCOMICS.com, I think they're up to issue like 14. But I'm just gonna get it. I got it on my pull list of my LCS now, so I'm just gonna get it that way,
Okay.
And I think he has already. I think if he had an option, he's in the process of trying to option this for a series as well. So I don't know if it's gonna be animated or live action. I mean, but it's good, and it's the 𝐬𝐸 family. That's their name, the 𝐬𝐸 family.
I might have to hit them up. Someone else was telling me about Godhood Publishers. They're like, "Oh, try to get on their press list." I said, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, definitely do it. I mean, the brother been floating around for some years. I mean, and I've been hearing about it. I was like, man, I finally got a copy in my hand, a physical copy.
Okay, but I'm gonna shoot him up a message. I'm gonna get on the press list, but then you're obligated now, Marquelon, for reviews and all that stuff.
That's
when they
fine.
come in.
Hey, man, just like you got excited about Blue Beetle, I got excited about it. I got 3 books, all black people, all black characters leading all 3 of them. So hey, I'm good.
I was saying was optioned a couple of years ago. Not sure if it's moved past that. Okay.
Well, hey, Elle, how you doing?
You're super late. Very disappointed. You missed a great review. Chill, Jacoby. Anything you're reading these days? Anything you recommend? Like, boom, hit us with a book, man.
Sorry, nothing.
Chelsea is 2 weeks behind.
I finished up the latest Daredevil run.
Okay.
Chip Zdarsky, I know you guys had him on.
Yeah.
He killed it. Here, I'll give a shout out to Josh. He was the writer of the Graduation Day. His new graphic novel came out with Levi Hastings, Washington Gay General.
Okay.
It's about Washington's general, and it's a Baron von Steuben, and it's a kind of historical fiction. Well, it's not really fiction, but it's like about that general and kind of they're best friends, but the historical version of good friends snuggling.
Sorry, he's a good friend. Okay,
that kind of like historical rewrite.
Yeah, I'm sure some historians will probably have some problems with that, But again, we still perpetuating that George Washington never told a lie.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's something super interesting.
Okay, and you said that was from the writer of Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Graduation Day. Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. And Something's Killing the Children. That's been my read list lately.
You know what, Jacoby, Something Came to Kill You. That was my number 4 pick. That was my number 4 this week.
I'll take it.
And number 5 was Uncanny Avengers number 1 because I'm like, hey,
I'm so far behind on Something Is Killing the Children, man. Like I've got to be like still on maybe the 4th volume, but they're like up to what, the 6th volume now or something.
That was Something Killing the Children with issue number 32. Yeah, 32.
Yeah, I got to be like on the early 20s or something.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good to binge read.
Yeah?
I'm bad with monthly titles. I know I only get 2 now. I'm more of a trade person somehow. I became that, but
Yeah.
like I have like horrible memory. I'm like, wait, who is this again?
I'm the same way.
It's just and like
I'm
the
not there yet. I hope I never get
off
there.
topic, but like I guess not off topic, but just it just sucks that that's how comics work though. It's like you have to buy these monthly books and that's how the title stays in the flow.
Mhm.
And yet it's like I can't remember this. I don't know what the hell. I forgot a big part of the last Daredevil issue for this issue for the current one. And I was like, oh yeah, that did happen, and that was like a pretty big part. I was like, oh crap, like yeah.
It's not
Just go
mostly
back.
forgetfulness for me. For me, when I forget something, it's like I've learned and read so much and so many insignificant characters that why even retain this anymore? Who cares about this mutant that you just invented? That this writer is really gung ho about the character,
Mm-hmm.
and then when things reboot after 12 issues, we won't see this character until like a background image of the next big event, and it'll be the character dying.
Well, I mean, one, I agree with Jacoby because I ran into that same issue with Daredevil. 2, I would say Saladin Ahmed, was it Saladin is taking over Daredevil, and I'm like, Chip Zdarsky basically painted him into a corner. I think like, oh, but that's a tradition now for Daredevil writers to screw the next writer coming in. Like, okay, yeah,
No,
that's a
I
tradition
agree.
now.
Like I think yeah, definitely is kind of like how you view it. Is like I could have like see him where he does have a lot of. I think the next writer has a lot of room to do that, but I could also see him where it's like, is he gonna take the previous stuff with him, or is he just gonna be like, all right, fuck it, that happened. Anyways, here's my Daredevil run.
Exactly. and that's what happened in with Hulk basically. I mean, Donny Cates did his thing, and then Philip Kennedy Johnson's like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm finna go and pick up from Al Ewing's run. That's basically what he did. I'm finna pick up from Al Ewing's run. The Hulk is a monster. I don't give a fuck about this in space shit no more. And the Chill's point is like, I get what you say about the characters, but it's like, every once in a while you get it's the testament of a good writer. Like I think Grant Morrison, the first writer I saw do that. He would take these characters that nobody cared about and put them on Justice League. Everybody cared about them. But then a writer who didn't have his talent couldn't do the same thing. I mean, Grant Morrison made Aztec, popular. I'm like, you got to really know comics and know Aztec, But he was popular when Grant Morrison was writing Justice League,
I gotta read more Morrison. It's been a minute. Not since, it's been several years. I've read one book, folks. One book. Had time for one book, and I wrote my first review. It's up on houseofnerdshow.com. Be nice, be gentle. I'm not a writer, but I wrote my first for Rare Flavors. It's the Ash Can, so it's not the full issue. It's basically a preview of Ram V's and Felipe Andrade.
And I knew when I saw Ron V, I knew you was gonna jump on that, Sergio. I was like, because Ron V is like your favorite writer, right?
My favorite writer, 100%, man, can't be denied. And I love Felipe's work. I had to get the Virgin too. Like it's a one per store. But it's so fucking good, man. Like if you love Layla, this is like, and I said as much. It looks like it's gonna be another, masterpiece in the making, man. Check it out, man. Let me know what you think about the review. Jacoby, let me know if I have the chops.
The chops. Well, I don't know. I just draw the comics that people shit on.
Let me tell you, but chatted with Saladin a couple of weeks ago. He wouldn't give much detail about where his Daredevil was hidden. Only day. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like I'm not sure y'all Star Trek fans, but people who watch Deep Space Nine was this thing. O'Brien must suffer. Everybody's like Matt Murdock must suffer. That's the whole thing.
They will put him through hell, and he'll be like, okay, I still got God.
Yeah, he's been through it all, man. Daredevil, man.
Well, that's a good question. Who has it worse now, Matt Murdock or Peter Parker?
Peter.
Great question, Peter. I could, yeah.
Why do you say that, Chill? I think
you
right.
can't be married, and everything good that's happened was taken away from an editor, and these editors are still in place. Nick Lowe's not going nowhere.
Actually, okay, yeah, I'll say Peter. Yeah, I mean, I think technically, he had a whole child, and it was like, psych.
Oh my god.
It wasn't like that dark, but I mean, it was just kind of like, oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I think when they did the One More Day thing, and Straczynski was writing the book, and I was like, I'm out. I basically quit. I refused to buy any Spider-Man for like years after that. I like they intend on keeping him a perpetual man child, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
But Daredevil got it back. I mean, the love of his life, Karen Page. Remember she had AIDS and got killed by Bullseye. He
Yeah.
got married and his wife went crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will still say Peter, but I mean, Matt Murdock isn't like that far behind. I mean,
the road to
the
misery.
amount of people that have died in his arms. I mean, it's just like at this point, he's just like this all the time, ready to have a dead body in his hand.
He's got a crank in his wrist. He's like,
Yeah.
I can't. It's too much, man.
I mean, but he got Electric back. Peter Parker. Well, no, Peter Parker got Gwen Stacy back. Well, he got a version of Gwen Stacy back. He can't ever be with that version though.
Man, I haven't read a regular Spider-Man series in years. Hey, Zach, it's never too late, man. You can go back, pick them up,
That's
pick
true.
them up weekly or
Weekly Comics.
Black Panther, then watch my reviews every month.
There you go.
And I mean, I like Eve Ewing's Black Panther. I like the world building she's doing over there. So what are you thinking, Jill?
Well, it's like you said, the old guy left her a mess where he's not even the king anymore, and she's kind of like continuing that. And I'm looking at my watch every issue, like, okay, when is he going to be the king? Because what's happening, right? You remember how he wasn't an Avenger anymore because he broke that relationship? Well, all it took was one issue on one page, and he's an Avenger again. So just get him king again, please.
Okay. Hey,
is it easier to be Avenger than to be a king of Wakanda again?
Yeah.
All the superheroes gotta go through it, Chill. I'm sure he'll be back to being the king sooner rather than later, man. Otherwise, Chill's gonna keep making the monthly videos,
Hey, that's how they keep you reading. They're like, all right, not this issue, maybe next issue.
I mean, that's the hook. Like, all right, do you care?
You got me this time.
Don't
Check out next issue.
underestimate the people's abilities to drop a title. If they're reading this thing and he's not the king anymore, people are going to say, why am I paying money to see this character not act like this character? And then they get canceled. So let's not act like, we can keep people with suspense.
Comic readers, us nerds, we're degenerate fucking addicts. And we need to. I gotta have the full run. So at least that's me, man. I hate missing an issue in a. No, I got even if I stop reading it, I gotta have it. Because I'm a weirdo.
So you have Some Things Killing the Children's that you just didn't read yet?
Oh, dude, my stack of to read books, man. Oh, it's disgusting. Like boxes full.
If I had trades, I wouldn't read. I wouldn't get anything done. Reading weeklies is easier for me than reading trades. I got a trade. I can't think what it was, and it's been sitting on my bed. I just hadn't got to it because I'm like the trade. The length of a trade intimidates me. I'm like I got to actually block out a significant amount of time versus a weekly. Yeah, I have a big stack, but let's see. I have a big stack, but I can all right. I can read 4 of these tonight. And another 4 in the morning. That's how I do mine. People are like, how do you do it? I read 4 at night, 4 in the morning, 4 1 at lunch.
Well, Jacoby, you were saying earlier, like you're finding it's just easier to read like the trades, right? Like I'm
easier to buy them.
It's easier to buy. See?
Yeah.
No, I kind of have the same thing where I'm just like, I have the trades. Now it's just like I gotta make the time. Yeah. And it's funny though, because it's like if I buy for some reason I buy 6 issues in a week, I'll still read the 6 issues. Right there, then and there.
Yeah.
Whereas for some reason, it's like with the trade, it's like that collects like six issues. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I can't read this right now.
See, folks saying the exact same thing. I'm like, you get a trade. I got a trade sitting on the table right now that I bought like last year, and I still ain't got to.
And I have a big trouble with like stock, like already my memory is bad with the weekly comics and trying to remember what happened in between issues. I can't like stop mid book. I'm a very big like I need to finish it.
Yeah.
So that's I have to like kind of really do make the time for it. But every once in a while I have a late night where I'm just like, okay, let me binge some books, and man, those are fun.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of making the time, I'm gonna put you on the spot right before we get out of here, folks. Jacoby, please, for the love of God, make time for some more. It's only Teenage Wasteland. Great series.
Okay.
We need it, my man. We need
I was
it.
like, put me on the spot. What are we doing? What?
know?
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah. You know, we
I got
gotta
a packed schedule, but I think we can. I think it can fit in there.
squeeze it in, man.
Yeah,
Squeeze it
just
in.
squeeze it in.
Folks, check out his books. Frontera out now. It's only Teenage Wasteland. Check out Chill on his channel. I believe I've got the links in the description of the video. If not, I'll add them. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Go out and watch Blue Beetle. Not once, not twice, perhaps thrice even. Is that good, baby? What you got going on over there, Holmes?
Let's get it.
Oh,
Blue Beetle.
My guy, we've been talking Blue Beetle this whole time and you're just pulling it up now? Come on, bro. You're
I
killing
got
me.
that thing on me, and it's Blue Beetle.
It's dope. I dig it, man. Go
Go
on,
check
watch
it
it, folks. It's a great film, dope family, entertaining, everything, man, that you can want. I'm about to hit that outro video. Where we at, man? That's it. It's a wrap, baby. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Sunday. We got some different plan for you next Sunday. Perhaps Chill might be involved.
I think I will be.
Yeah. Okay, folks. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate this community. Thank you, Jacoby. Thank you, Chill. We out of here, baby.
Peace.